Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Clara Luper Radio Show. This is a very special day. This is a day that I know that you, all of us, should totally enjoy because this is Clara Luper's Day. Now, we're going to tell you a lot more about that, and I say we because of the fact that there's going to be someone here at the show besides me, myself, and I, because we are here and we want you to be a part of the Clara Luper Radio Show this beautiful day. Look outside. If you can't look outside, feel like you're looking outside because this is a day that the Lord has blessed us all with, and we want you to be a part of it. Say, why don't you sit back, relax, call that neighbor, call that friend, and invite them to be a part of this, the Clara Luper Radio Show. Well, I can hardly wait to tell you what all is going to be happening on this Clara Luper's Day, Oklahoma City, the day that we honor not only my dear sweet mom, but we honor all of the sit-inners and those people who have been involved in the sit-in movement since that fateful day, August 19th, 1958. Say, airplane, Will Rogers Airport, don't you all worry because that speaker will be coming in here shortly, and we're looking forward to talking with, to hearing my good friend, my old sit-in buddy, my NACP buddy, but my religious buddy, my friend. I mean, your friend. And I don't know. Those of you who should know people, you know Dr. Lamar Clark, because he's coming in from Detroit, Michigan, and he will be speaking tonight at the Clara Luper's dinner at True Vine Baptist Church. But sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, and Loretta, let me say this because I know that this has been a blessed day because God has truly lifted me.
Lifted me. Love lifted me. I know love lifted me on higher ground so that I could see. Oh, yes, it did. It was love took me by my hand, and gave me strength, so that I could stand. Oh, it was love, who set me free. Love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me, love lifted me. I know love lifted me. He lifted me on higher ground. Take me higher so that I could see. I could see.
Oh, yes, indeed. Love lifted me. Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much for that faithful, that motivating August 19th, 1958, when the sit-in movement started. You didn't have to be the advisor. You didn't have to be the one that took us down there. Thank you, Merle, and thank you, those 12 other original sit-inners that went down there and made that fateful step. Those of you who are sitting out there in those luxurious rooms in Oklahoma City, those of you who are eating in those outstanding restaurants, those of you who have no fear, all you got to do is go in there and pay your fare. Remember that there were 13 young people plus nine dedicated advisors that took that fateful step that made all of this possible. So you sit back, you relax, and you enjoy this, the Clara Luper Radio Show on this Clara Luper's Day, August 1997. Long time. But say, I'm not going to keep you sitting by your radio. And what you ought to do is turn it up because you're going to have an opportunity to talk to a very, very beautiful young lady, a young lady who has spent her life motivating young people, a young lady who, for some reason, was the advisor. Some way, somehow, she decided, and she was the one that went there as the adult advisor with us for that fateful day. So sit back, relax. I want to introduce to some of you, but I want all of you to meet a good friend of mine, a very dynamic person, but a great mother. but also a dynamic civil rights leader here across this nation. Mom, welcome to your own radio show on this Clara Luper's Day. And how are you doing this beautiful morning?
I am fine, and thank you, Calvin.
You,
It
what were
was
you going to call
certain
me now?
Calvin.
Calvin, okay.
I think the public must understand today the sit-in movement that led to the elimination of segregation in public accommodations. Let us turn the pages of history back to 1958, August 19th. The same group of NACP Youth Council members had congregated at my house, located at 1819 Northeast Park Place in Oklahoma City. It was August 19th, 1958. The long, hot summer's heat seemed endurable in the same small 5-room white framed house. The mosquitoes were in complete control outside, and the youngsters remained inside where they, with sweat on their faces, held their weekly meetings. Gwendolyn Fuller, president of the council, was presiding. Ruth Tolliver and I were in the kitchen preparing grape Kool-Aid and lunch meat sandwiches. Voices could be heard. We want the EAT eat. We want the EAT eat. Now, now, now. Barbara Posey was recognized by the president, Gwendolyn Fuller, and she said we had better see what Mrs. Luper thinks. After all, she is a youth advisor. I could feel the eyes of the members on me. I thought for a brief moment and traced the steps that we had taken. We had been patient, and I saw in the children's eyes reflections of my restless childhood when I wanted to do something about a system that had paralyzed my movements and made me an outsider in my own country. Yes, these were children whose ages ranged from 7 to 15 years old. I thought about my father, Ezel Shepard, who had died in 1957 in a veterans hospital and who had never been able to sit down and eat a meal in a decent restaurant. I remembered how he used to tell us that someday he would take us to dinners and to parks and zoos. And when I asked him when was someday, he would always say, someday will be real soon, as tears ran down his cheeks. So my answer was, yes, tonight is my night. History compels us to go, and let history alone be our final judge. We had another problem. We didn't have any transportation. Ruth Tolliver and I discussed the situation and decided to call 3 people that we knew wouldn't turn us down. Portwood Williams, Senior, Lillian Olive, and Mary Pogue. And here he is, Portwood Williams.
Mom, let me introduce Portwood Williams because this is Portwood Williams Jr. He was one of the original sit-ins. His dad was there, but then also was his son. The Williams family, Portwood Williams family, is a part of the civil rights movement. Portwood Williams Jr., how are you doing this beautiful morning on Clara Luper's Day?
I'm doing great. I just called in to sort of toot Ms. Luper's horn a little bit. Ms. Luper, I was telling somebody the other day, is the most selfless person I've ever met. And this being Clara Luper Day, I thought I wanted to be one of the first people to call in and just, reminisce about the old days and talk a little bit for just a minute about, and thank Miss Luper, basically. We even had her at our 50th, the Garland family reunion. Our 50th reunion, Miss Luper was our guest speaker a couple of weeks ago. We held it at the Rotunda in the Capitol building. And just wanted to call in and talk about probably some of the things that I talked about when I introduced Miss Luper at the event of our reunion. And I talked about her courage, her discipline, her perseverance. I talked about her courage, involving some of the things that happened to her while marching from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery in 1965. I talked about her discipline, recognizing the fact that the sit-ins lasted, almost 6 years. And in all that time, people came and people went, but Mrs. Luper was there every day, day in and day out, and she never took any annual leave or called in sick. I talked about her perseverance I know she probably doesn't want me to, Miss Luper doesn't like you to brag on her, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, the original sit-ins occurred almost 40 years ago. But if you go by the Freedom Center this coming Monday, you'll still find Miss Luper there, still fighting, still praying, still holding up the bloodstained banner. And that's perseverance for you. But what I really called in, Calvin, to do was to thank Miss Luper and to say how much I love her. And I love her because she always cared. She always held us accountable for our behavior, no matter how old we were. And I think it was because she knew something that we didn't know, and that was that people, especially young people, tend to live up to what is expected of them. And Mrs. Luper expected a lot. She expected your best.
Well, Port, things haven't changed too much. Mom still expects the best from us. But I'm looking forward to seeing you again, man. And I just want to, if I could reach out over the air now and shake your hand, I just want to shake your hand for the strength and the stability that you brought to the sit-in movement. But then, a lot of things happened to us in the last 39 years, 30 years.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then what else is there that you feel like the civil rights movement and particularly the sit-in movement has brought to you, has helped us?
Oh, I can't say too much specifically. I think I get people every year that call every other year, and they want to do a write-up or something pertaining to the original sit-in movement. So they call some of the people. I'm sure that they've called you,
Right.
and they want to get some information about how we felt at that time, et cetera, et cetera. And I generally just tell them that generally when we engaged in the sit-in movement, we were too young to even realize
What we were doing.
right, the import of what we were doing. They asked if we were fearful, and I said, no, we were too young to be afraid of anything. We didn't know that we were doing something that was a part of history.
Right. Well,
And,
Portwood Jr., I know you have a lot more to say because, that's Portwood Jr. to say. But tell us, just go ahead, man. Just talk. Just tell us what you really feel in the bottom of your heart, okay?
Oh, probably the difference between the what my outlook would have been. I was one of the older sit-inners, and I think I was 15.
Right.
And at that time, probably I would look at the situation more from an economic point of view. These days, I can remember that as we sat on the stools down at Katz drugstore, I can remember some of the grown people coming by and giving everybody money to make sure that we had something to order, had money to order something with in case we were served.
Yeah, that was hilarious, wasn't it? A lot of the times that we were sitting there, we didn't have any money. If they would have come up and told us, say, man, now's the opportunity, now's the time for you to make your order, and we would have made the order, we would have been really in dire straits.
Right. We wouldn't have had any money to pay for it.
We couldn't have paid for it. Then would have been in another problem with the Oklahoma City Police Department.
Right. So I say that to say that my outlook on the situation as it pertains to black now is more of one that has to do with economic recovery.
Well, Portwood Jr., it's great, man. I know that during the sit-in movement, you still able to maintain high school career academic-wise on your top shelf of your class there, you basketball, the University of Oklahoma and all that. But as I want to call you Pretty Port, but I'm not going to call you that.
Nope. That's the old days.
That's the old days, because of the fact now that we made it. We've gone on and we've used those obstacles that were placed in front of us during the sit-in movement to go on. And Portwood, is there anything special you'd like to tell the listening audience before we go to the next one?
I don't want to say anything about myself.
Well, brag, man. It's all right.
No.
If it was your dad, he'd be bragging.
But this is Miss Luper's day.
Yeah, Clara Luper's Day.
This
But
is
Clara Luper's Day now. Let's make that.
But I'd like to, and I want to be brief. I know somebody else wants to come in and call in too. But I'd like to say something about Miss Luper that I said when I was introducing her at our reunion event, and I can end up with that. And I like to describe Miss Luper much in the same way as another famous American, well, ex-president, the late John F. Kennedy, was described. And that is that I see Miss Luper as a person who saw indifference and tried to care. She saw ignorance and tried to educate. She saw hate and tried to love.
That's touching. Boy. All right, boy. You got me, man. I'm sitting there, okay, I can, Mom, I don't know. I know it's hard to, it must be very difficult for you to listen to this because it's difficult for me. And Portwood Jr., thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Hey,
And I look forward to seeing all of you. How's Donda, Shirley?
oh, they were all here for the reunion. They
Okay.
just went back to, Shirley's in Detroit and Donna's in Chicago. And
Okay, and how's Clay?
Clay's fine. She's here.
Okay, and Aunt Lucille, as I like to call her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all doing fine.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this, the Clara Luper Radio Show on Clara Luper's Day on this beautiful August morning here in Oklahoma City. And we're spreading this love. We're spreading the message across this nation.
The pleasure's been all mine.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. Say, Mom, I have a letter here from that was dated 8/18/1997, and it's a very beautiful letter. And I think it goes along with what Portwood Jr. was saying. Congratulations on your 39th anniversary of the sit-in to stop segregation. Your courage, your determination, and efforts have most definitely changed Oklahoma and the United States of America into a better place. The results of your actions 39 years ago can be seen in every school, restaurant, building, etc. that we walk into today. You truly are one of Oklahoma's most precious treasures. May the blessings of Jesus Christ stay with you as your fight for racial equality continues. The love and pride that I have for you is beyond words. You are the greatest. God bless you. Respectfully, good friend of ours, great friend, Bonita Bowie. Say, Mom, what can you say? I mean, you got Portwood Jr. calling. You got Bonita Bowie that written you a letter, and we have many other letters that we could read this morning. But then we're all looking forward to that great parade that will be going on today, starting at 11 o'clock. We're leaving from the Pitts Park there at 20th and K Street, and we'll be going down Lottie, down 23rd, down Martin Luther King to the Freedom Center. But all of this is because of the Clara Luper's Day. Thank you so much. But what else will be happening today? And how are you feeling on a beautiful day like today?
I'm very humble and I'm very grateful because I know that it is through the will of God that I am here. Today is Clara Luper's Day, and Clara Luper's name is a symbol for all that fought in the civil rights battles across this country, and especially in Oklahoma City. Now, since 1958, we have looked back on this week. On Sunday, August the 17th, we were at Quails Methodist Church where Mrs. Bosie Walker presented Reverend Moore and a beautiful, talented young lady, Andre. And I cannot say too much about that Quails Methodist Youth Choir directed by Mrs. Leverett. On Monday, it was Everybody's Report Day, and we asked the public to bring aluminum cans. We have over 6,000 cans that have been brought to Freedom Center. And those of you that did not bring your cans, you can sack them up and leave them up there today. On August the 19th, it was Cecil L. Williams Day. Cecil Williams, known as a black businessman, an advisor of the NAACP Youth Council. His pet thing was voters registration and getting out to vote. This year, his day was hosted by Mrs. Leola Ford and Miss Wilma Ray with a salad festival. Congratulations to them. On Wednesday, we found ourselves in Alberta's beautiful tea room. Oh, it was beautiful. That was Sit-Inners Day. Mrs. Gloria Matthews was in charge and did a fantastic job. Marilyn Luper Hildred was a guest speaker. I cannot say too much about the dignity, the respect, the know-how of the people at Alberta's Tea Room. Nor could I say too much if I would talk all day about the food. But Thursday, it was President's Day. hosted by Thais Ray. That was the President's Day. On Friday, August the 22nd, was Lady Ruth Hunter's, Lillian Oliver, and Nancy Davis's day. That was a fashion show, guest entertainment, and coronation. Alexander Daniel was crowned as the king of the Freedom Fiesta, and Coco Thomas was crowned as a queen. One thing really impressed me about that last night, there were two other little guys that was in Freedom Center. And when they saw those two young people crowned, a young man surprised me. David and Nigel say, I want to be a king too. But today you will have the opportunity to participate in the parade, which will start at 11 o'clock from Pitts Park. We invite you to participate. Those of you that have automobiles, just come and turn your lights on and drive with us. Because we have some serious problems that face us. 39 years ago, we were wondering if we could eat in restaurants. We were wondering if we would be able to use public accommodations. But today we have a new war on, one that we saw last night in the violence in New York City. We have felt it as we looked at the violence in Texas in the prison, knowing that many of our young people from Oklahoma are in those private prisons in Texas. We felt it when we have heard rumors that somebody wants to change the name of Miller's Arena on the east side of Oklahoma City. And I would ask the Board of Education and the Friends if they were thinking about changing that name, please do not change it, because we've got to have some names that we can associate with. And today at 6:30 at the Church of the Future, the Church of the Present, the Church of the Past, the True Vine Independent Baptist Church, we will have our annual Clara Luper's Freedom Fiesta dinner. You have responded to that dinner unbelievable, and we do have a few seats left. If you are interested, call 672-1220. Dr. Lamar Clark, a young man who came to Oklahoma City from Jarvis College during the sit-in movement. Really, he commuted because every week he was here marching with us, saying that I want to be free, I want to be free, I want to be free. No one will dispute the fact that Dr. Lamar Clark is one of the most qualified men in America, rightfully so. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, attended Southwestern College and then Jarvis Christian College, on to Lexington Theological Seminary, then to the University of Kentucky, Williams College, Wayne State University, finally with a PhD from Harvard University. Dr. Lamar Clark will speak at 6:30. A high school teacher, a college professor, a fighter for freedom, a sit-in, a participant in the major marches in America. He is now the pastor of the United Congregational Christian Church in Detroit, Michigan, and a friend of our own, Reverend William W. Sims. He will be here at 10:10 today. He will be able to see the parade. He will be able to see how we respond to those that made a better day for all of us. This program is made possible today by Gates Barbershop, where you can get that haircut and be ready for the dinner tonight. Gates Barbershop is located at 2609 North Martin Luther King, and Mr. Gates and Mr. Gamble are supporting with all they have the cause. Hometown 2001 Northeast 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, open 24 hours for your convenience. Among the distinguished guests, and all of our guests are very distinguished, would be Dr. A.L. Dial and his son Al tonight. But you can call Dr. Dial at 235-0536 for your appointment, located at 934 Northeast 8th. Merlin Hildred, one of the original sit-inners at Allstate Insurance Company, 730 Road, will take care of all of your insurance needs. 843-0811. Chancellor Shardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street, 424-4656. Mrs. Gloria Mathis and Mr. Paul Mathis, strong supporters of the NACP, the Freedom Center, and certainly proud to have been part of the freedom fight in Oklahoma. But if you are looking for a place where your children will not only be taken care of physically, but also educationally, go to Johnson Shardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street, or 2611 North Martin Luther King. Among those that will be at the dinner tonight will be representatives from Gideon 300 Store, located at 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 6320770. They have all kinds of African clothes, African food. Yes, they have African jewelry. Name it. Go out to Discount Carpet and Furniture Company too, and you can pick up the kind of furniture that you want. Gideon 300 Store. The telephone number is 6320770. And don't forget to tell them you heard it on the Clara Luper radio show. Now, Discount Carpet is located at 501 Northwest 23rd Street. They have quality mattresses. They have sets from $39.95 up. They specialize in commercial jobs and churches, and they have done churches all over Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. They give a 10% discount to senior citizens. Yes, our sponsors, Gates Barbershop, Hometown Dr. A.L. Dial, Allstate Insurance Company, Johnson Shardina's, Discount Carpet and Furniture, and of all, Gideon 300 congratulate us on our day. Yes, Calvin.
Yes, indeed, Mom. You know, it's so good to be here. I just stepped outside for a minute. I 3 or 4 phone calls there, and I promise you we'll get to talk about the things that you wanted to talk about a little later on. But this is Clara Luper's day. This is Clara Luper's show. Mom, I don't know. You seem a little down today because I can't imagine what could be wrong. Because this is a great day, and this is your day. And I know that even though we call it Clara Luper's Day, that this is a day that we're celebrating the sit-in movement. We're celebrating those people who are actively involved in it, and yet you were pushed there to the forefront, and you were sort of forced to be the spokesperson for the civil rights movement here in Oklahoma
Yeah,
City.
I took
back
it
then.
because nobody else would take it.
You
That's
took
the
it because
only-
nobody
else
else.
would take it. But Calvin, the proceeds from the Freedom Fiesta Week will go to pay off the youth council's bills and to put the names of those people that participated in the sit-in movement and in the sanitation strike. I'm talking about those people that recorded their names. And for the next 15 minutes, we are going to call the names because today, when we say Clara Luper, we are talking about those that participated. And once you hear your name, if we missed you, we will have those names with us during the parade. And if you have any additional names that you can prove that participated, let us know. Now, we had people to sign in, and you can't say that you participated and you didn't sign in.
Right, that would really be a discredit to history. But then what we want you to do is to make sure that as you listen to the names of those people that we call, that if you know someone that we missed and someone that you know that was involved in the movement, because we go back to our mental history, but then we go back to the physical history, and it's very difficult at times to get everybody's name on at the right place at the right time. But we're striving to do that. And that north wall of the Freedom Center will be a beautiful thing because I know that we have great plans for it. And I'm looking forward to that part of it, Freedom Center, being a reality. See, I invite all of you to go by 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. You look and you see there the results of the Youth Council's activities. You have an opportunity to see Black history. You have an opportunity to read about Black history. You have an opportunity to really feel like it's a part of it. It feels good to go by there and to look at the monument. Each and every time I look at the monument, I find something different about it. Even though I know the names and the faces of the people there, it still makes you feel good. And when your families and friends come in and to visit, invite them to go by the Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue. Now, there's a long list of names here.
Oh, of course,
I'm,
and these people
and
deserve
these are
it.
people
And before we talk
that
about
worked
these
on it.
people, I'm going to talk about 3 people that will be honored tonight.
Are you
3
really, Mom? Now,
people
there's
that will
3
be
people that
that will be honored
some of
tonight,
the
and they will be honored
unsung
tonight.
heroes whose song we will have an opportunity to participate in singing this night here at True Vine Baptist Church. At what time is that?
That's at 6:30. Meet the 1997 honorees: Carl Carbon,
Carl Carbon
Beulah Horn,
and Bueller Horn.
and Leon Pons.
Leon Pons. Okay.
We will be telling you all about
We-
them tonight, and
we-
those of you that are friends, you want to be out there and see them receive those awards tonight.
Well, that's a long
Oh,
list
it's
of
going to
names,
be
but
something.
Carl Pons.
Clarissa Douglas will be singing. We'll tell you about their
Okay.
qualifications
Carl
tonight.
Carbon,
And-
Leon Pons.
Oh,
Bueller
let's say
Horn.
it again. I just like to hear it.
Oh, Mama,
Who we
let me
will
say it
honor
for you.
tonight.
Carl
Oh,
Carbon. This is at 424-2384,
We're raising money today.
672-1220.
we are raising
All right.
money today to put their names on the
Put
wall.
their name. Mama, can I get
Okay,
this list
we're,
here?
we're ready to go, Calvin.
You ready to go?
Let's see
Okay,
how
I'm
many
gonna
we can
start
go.
with the A's. Okay, I'm gonna start with the A's. Otis Abner, Jim Akers, Adams Barbershop, Eldridge Adams, Joan Adams, Richard Adams, Charles Atkins Sr., Alberta's Tea Room, Madeline Alexander, Albert Alexander, the attorney, Leroy Alexander, Allen Chapel AME Church, Donald Allen, Eddie Fay Allen, Glenn Allen, Joyce Allen, Carol Allensworth, John Amick, Austin Anderson, Ella Anderson, Kay Francis Anderson, Leroy Anderson, McKay Anderson, Paul Anderson, Sherry Anderson, Verda Anderson, the people at Andre's Barbershop, Lorene Andrews, Antioch Baptist Church, Amita Arnold, Juanita Arnold, Larry Arnold, Lester Arnold, W.K., the Reverend W.K. Arnold, the people at Arrow Machine Company, Edmund Atkins. Oh my, that was one page, Mom. I did real good on that. How many? Did I
Okay,
make
let's
that
go,
time?
Calvin.
Let's go again.
We got to
There's
call their name.
Hannah Atkins, Lou Ann Atkins, Jimmy Ray Atkinson, Attorney Bryce Baggett, Scott Baird, Reverend Eddie Baker, Cordell Banks, Estelle Barber, Maxine Barber, Nun Barber, Tommy Lee Barber, the attorney Carl Barkley, Anthony Barnett, Pinky Barnett, Attorney J.L. Barrett, James Barrett, Barrett's Otto, Lorene Battle, James Bell, Sarah Bell, Clarence Bell, Don Bell, Teresa Bell, Bobby Belts, Bobby Battle, Lamar Benefi, Maurice Benefi, Nilo Benford, Charles Bennett, Janice Bennett, William Benson, Linda Benson, Estelle Berry, Attorney J.W. Berry, Bill's Cleaners, R.A. Bingham, Dr. Brian Biscoe, Charles Chucky Biscoe, Gay Biscoe, Floyd Blair, Blanche's Drive-In, James Blassingill, Valletta Bobo, Attorney Robert Bach, Ralph Bolin, Attorney J. Bond, Attorney J. Bond, Haywood Boone, Thomas Haywood Boone, okay, Thomas Borending, Julianne Borders, Aretha Borders, Stanley Bradford, Wanda Bradley, Larry Brandon, Carolyn Bradden, the Reverend J.B. Bradden, Merlin Bradden, Marsha Bradden, Winona Brent, Thomas Brewer, Thomas Bridges, Robert Bright, Paul Brinder, Attorney Patrick Brogan, Patrick Brogans, Thomas Brooker, Andrew Lee Brooks, Underlou Brooks, Martha Brown, Albert Brown, the Reverend Curtis Brown, Floyd Brown, Georgia Brown, Glendale Brown, L.C. Brown, Leslie Brown Jr., Leslie Brown Sr., Onita Brown, Paul Brown, Richard Brown, Rosa Brown, Sharon Brown, Attorney Frank Bruo, Lorene Brysinger, the good folk there at Berger Brothers, Attorney Martin Bula, Carolyn Burks, Reverend Isaac Burley, Reverend J. Boozy, Brian Butler, Nolan Butler, Otis Butler, Willola Butler, Mr. and Mrs. Barling.
Yes, now for the C's. Marcus K. Dale, Ryan Codwell, Alfred Campbell, Campbell's Grocery Store, Joe Cannon, Sylvester Carbajal and his wife, Frank Carey, Netta Carmacker, Ernestine Carmacker, John Carmacker, Wesley Carmacker, Jimmy Carr, Carr's Barbershop, Jesse Carroll, Bernard Carter, Cleota Carter, Diane Carter, Anola Carter, Patricia Carter, Robert Carter, Cartwright's Barbershop, Willie Case, Cato Oil and Gas Company, Arthur Lee Cato, Caesar's Florist, Leon Chandler Jr., Leon Chandler Sr., Madge Chandler, Wayne Chandler Jr., Wayne Chandler Sr., Charmette's Beauty Shop, G.E. Childs, Pearl Childs, Paul Childs, Christ United Methodist Church, Church of God in Christ, Church of the Redeemer, Carl Clark, Blanche Clardy, Clark Motor Company, Lamar Clark, Matthews Clark, Sharon Clark, Velma Clark, Dr. William Clark, Michael Clayton, Vera Clayton, the Clearys, William Cleary, Cleves Memorial CME Church, Bill Clinford, Mary Miles Clinton, Glaston Cluster, Goston Cluster, Wendell Clotters, Joe Bailey Cobb, Laverne Cobb, Laveria Cobb, El Centro Coffee, Florence Coffee, Maurice Coffee, Wayne Coffee, Larry Collier, Darrell Combs, John Combs, Doris Combs, Al Connors, Samuel Cornelius, Cornell Bell Cornell, Alfred Carnage, Lee Allen Carnage, Peggy Cosby, Carolyn County, Wendell Counter, Frank Cowan, Frank Cox, Dr. James Cox, Juanita Kraft, Louise Craig, Samuel Craig, Archie Croft, Brenda Croft, Janet Crawford, Theodosia Crawford, Sam Crossland, and Don Cumby. We are calling the names of people that participated in the sit-ins. We want to put their names on the monument. And Calvin, we have calls coming in, and we've got to stop and recognize some of these calls. In the meantime, they want to know where the parade starts.
The parade starts at Pitts Park. Now, those of you who don't know where Pitts Park is, let me tell you, it's located there, 20th and Northeast K Street. Big old sign, Pitts Park. You'll be able to see our good friend, Brother Berlin Nero is the parade marshal this year.
And he's done a tremendous job.
He's doing a tremendous job. You know, Berlin is recently coming out of surgery. I say, Berlin, how can you tell people what to do and you can hardly raise your right arm? You know, you can't point or nothing. He said, well, don't worry about it, Calvin. I'll figure out my way. But I'm looking forward to not only the parade, but I'm looking forward to seeing and being at the dinner tonight where Carl Carbon, Beulah Hearn, and Leon Pons will be honored. Mom,
say it again. Who will be honored tonight?
Beulah Hearns, Carl Carbon, and Leon Pons. And that will be at the True Vine Baptist Church starting about 7 o'clock, 7:30.
No, Calvin, get the time right. It's 6:30.
6:30. Okay,
6:30.
I knew I was trying to say I wouldn't be late by getting there at 7, but I know I need to be there.
You will be late if you get there at 7.
I'll be there at 7.
The doors will open at 6.
6:30.
The doors will open at 6.
Doors will open at 6. But Mom, we have on the line a young man that is an active member of the Oklahoma City NAACP Youth Council, a senior this year, I believe, at one of our high schools here in the Oklahoma City area. But he's also a reporter.
Okay,
and
he's
a reporter. He's a sports reporter on the Clara Luper radio show. And today is a very special day. And good morning to you, Mr. Skaggs Alberson Bagman. How are you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Fantastic. Tell us about it.
All right. Yeah,
are you ready for school?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes.
And what school do you go to?
Star Spencer.
And Star Spencer, what are you, a freshman there?
Nah. Senior.
A senior? Well, the responsibility is on yours to make sure that we have a great school year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, tell us what the sports are happening. What's your name?
Brandon.
What?
Brandon.
Brandon what?
Bryant.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to hearing what's going on in the sports world.
I got a name, Gloria Sutton.
Yes.
I was just telling you.
Oh, Gloria's name is only, we didn't get to the S's today.
Okay. All right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brandon Bryant bringing you your Saturday morning sports page. In the NFL preseason, the Green Bay Packers made the Buffalo Bills want to pack their bags as they whooped them 35-3. The Colts let the Seahawks give them a 45-3 spanking. The Saints finally got a win in preseason, but they do have two though, and they won over the Raiders 18-16. The Bengals blew out the Vikings 37-13, and the Cowboys were beating the Oilers 34-10. When I got ready to go to bed, wait a minute, this just in. That was the final score. In college football, a few of OSU's players might not be able to play for a while because of grades. And today, OU plays Northwestern at 11. So be sure to tune in today. In Major League Baseball, Florida blew out Chicago 8-1. New York shut out Texas 8-0. Cincinnati shut out to Los Angeles 5-0. Houston beat Colorado 10-4. And Seattle lost to Cleveland 5-7. In the minors, the 89ers will be moving to a new ballpark downtown next season. And the 89ers also beat a couple of teams this week. They beat the Royals 6-3 and Iowa 8-5. And once again, this is Brandon Bryan bringing you a bop bop loo bop bop bam boom and Saturday morning sports page on the Clara Luper Radio Show. Yo.
Okay, Brandon, there will be a special table tonight reserved for the officers of the NACP Youth Council. There will be a special table for Thais Ray, who is the president of the NACP Youth Council and was recently reelected. Congratulations, Thais. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and today is your dough. Today is your day. We have called a list of names, and we cannot finish all of the names today, but we will have the list. And if we don't have your name, let us know. Now, remember, these names will be on that north wall of Freedom Center. Everything is ready. Shadina Fowler, past president of the NACP Youth Council, now an architectural engineer student at Oklahoma State University, is helping us to design it. We need your aluminum cans. We need your support. Now, you have called out here and you've asked what are the prices of the dinner. We have diamond dinner tickets for $100. We have gold dinner tickets for $50, and we have silver tickets for $25. Those of you that will not invest $25 or $50 or $100 in your own names, because that's what we're doing, putting your names on the wall, then give what you can. Maybe you can donate a penny. I would be ashamed if somebody was working to put my name up for future generations, and we are talking about getting them ready for 100 years, and I would not do my part. Now, someone else has called, and you're asking us about the Fun Felt. Well, that is sponsored by an organization, and I don't know any Urban League people that have ever gone to jail for the sake of freedom. I don't know any Urban League people that have died in the cause for freedom, and I can understand why they can have a fun fest. We cannot have a fun fest today because we remember those courageous NAC people that died for freedom. We remember those, and we remember those courageous people in Oklahoma City that went to jail for freedom. And if you can call and tell me the name of one Urban League leader in Oklahoma City that went to jail, I'll give you a free ticket to the banquet tonight. I will put you at the diamond table.
Okay, I just want
Because,
to make sure.
see, everybody is calling us, but we have, see, what people got to realize about the NACP, and I heard somebody talking about the NACP, and the person that's talking about it is a recipient of the benefits of the NACP. Now, anybody that says anything about the NACP and what we aren't doing, the question is, what are you doing? Where were you when we were sitting in? Where were you when we were getting Ada Lloyd Scipio in to the universities? Where were you when we were fighting for integrated schools? The NACP, but tell me another organization. Where were you? I know you didn't take your behind downtown to go to jail.
Well, you know, one thing about the
Okay.
NACP, Mama, it's a very conservative, they say, organization. And this organization has done nothing. However, let's look
Nobody
back
would
at history.
say that had common
Yeah,
sense
let's
or
look
could
back
read.
at history because there was an opportunity that we never had before, and that was to eat a hamburger, say, in Wade's
And then I
restaurant.
cannot understand.
There was an opportunity to move near Nichols Hills now, and to be in Nichols Hills. There's an opportunity for us to do the things that we never could have done before if it hadn't have been for that one dynamic act of standing up, of asking for a hamburger and a Coca-Cola. Can you believe
I
that it
think
led
you
to that?
anybody that would talk about the NACP and what we don't have do not understand history. Let's go over what the NACP has done. The NACP opened doors for you to go and eat in public accommodation, in hotels, and what have you. And I heard somebody say, and I couldn't believe that anybody would get on radio and say we shouldn't be concerned with history. Why don't you tell the white folks that? Tell them they shouldn't be concerned with the 4th of July, where they are celebrating
Well, one
the
thing we do
Declaration
know,
of
Mom,
Independence.
one thing we do know, that progress has been made and hasn't been made by meeting totally in boardrooms and behind closed doors, but it's taken people that have been willing to take the giant step and the very frontal step, and that is by getting out there and standing up for what is right. People like Bruce Daniels, Grace Daniels, Charles Darden, Dr. Davis,
Okay,
Calvin
Calvin, we don't
Davis,
have
and
time
Kids
to
Day.
call
But
all
we're
of
not
the
going to call
names,
all those
and we're
names, but
going to
we're
give
at
the
the D.
public an
But
opportunity to
we have
call
a
us.
young lady on the phone that is anxious to talk with us that recently attended the NACP convention in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She represented our great city and our great county, and that's none other than Tamika Cooksey. Tamika, how are you doing
I'm
this
fine.
morning?
How are you?
Fantastic. Looking forward to tonight's banquet, the Clara Luper dinner at True Vine Baptist Church, where Carl Corbin, Beulah Hearns, and Leon Pons will be honored. What are you doing?
Well, I'm anxious to attend the banquet tonight. I think it's going to be very interesting to learn a lot about the sit-in movement and about these people that are going to be honored as well.
Okay, are you getting ready for the parade?
Yes, ma'am,
Well, invite all your friends to the parade.
I have.
Well, invite them on radio.
Okay. I would like to invite all of the people in Oklahoma City as well as supporters, but everyone who has not supported us yet, this is a great opportunity to come and support the sit-in movement, to come to Pitts Park where the parade will be starting. It's going to go down 2030 Martin Luther King to the Freedom Center. And then when you get to the Freedom Center, I invite you to look at the monument and look at the walls and learn more about your history, because it's very important for our city to know. So I would like to invite everyone to come out to this parade and be a part of this celebration of the sit-in movement.
And thank you so very kindly, and congratulations on your performance at the sit-in dinner of the night.
Thank you.
Tonight you will hear the lovely voice of Clarissa Douglas and Robert Adams. Don't miss it. I would like for Wayne Starks to get in contact with me. You may call me at 672-1220 or see me in the parade. Many of you have called and you're excited because I say that we haven't gotten the support that we should have gotten. I say it and I say it loud because we have a lot of people in Oklahoma City that have not supported the sit-ins. And I do get upset when I see little Coco Thomas and others trying to bring in cans, trying to make reports, trying to open doors, and you aren't doing anything. I say it and I'll say it loud. I don't think you've done what you could do. Now, do something about it. If you think you've done what you should have done, you call me. I know I haven't done everything that I should have done. I'm tired of people walking up, hugging, and say, "Oh, I love you, Clara Luper." I say, "Okay, how about buying a ticket?" "Well, Miss Luper, you know, I can't buy a ticket because I got to buy me some whiskey and some beer and something else." Well, anyway, that's your business, but I would hate to go down on record, and we are keeping a record of everybody that's making a contribution. And I would like for you to call out here, 672-1220. We want to see where you stand. Certainly, we would like to thank the Daily Oklahoman for that lovely article in this morning's paper. We would like to thank the radio stations and Russell Perry and all. We would like to thank Lisa Swain and all for what you have done for us. But most of all, we want to thank those of you that have used what God has given you in telling people about us. And those of you that don't like Clara Luper, support us anyway. Those of you that love Clara Luper, show your support not by talking. Somebody asked me how many people from my own church is coming. Don't call me, call Reverend Elkins and others. I don't know how many people from my church will be there, but I know when my church is having something, I will certainly support it, and I will support you. I had a call from Miss Anna Slaughter, who has written a book, and everybody should buy her book. And she said that, "Clara, I would be with you tonight, but because of illness, I can't." Let me hear from you. The telephone number is out here at 672-1220, and I have 9 minutes. Now, those of you that are going to jail, the NACP has stood with you when you are right. But when you're wrong, we can't go down. You go break in somebody's house. You go steal something. You go sell some drugs and then call us and say, "Help here." We can't help you if you have broken the law. You've got to pay your bills. And I'm talking about Cecil Williams put it far better than I. If you can't stand the time, don't do the crime. Now, we know some of our people are in prison and they are being mistreated. We are aware of that. Black people are being mistreated out of prison. And what do you think's going to happen when you get in prison? So our message is stay out of prison. And don't let anybody talk to you about the NACP and talk it down. We don't have a paid staff like other organizations. The people that work in NACP are volunteer people. Why don't you volunteer sometime? Well, please don't talk about NACP. You should be ashamed not to be a member of the NACP. The memberships are only $3 for youth, $10 and $15 for adults. You do something in place of talking. And today, as we march down the street, march with us because you're going to need NACP. And NACP certainly needs you. So today is Clara Luper's day, but it's your day because it's a salute to those of you that helped to finance the sit-in movement, those of you that prayed for us. And I know people call me and say, Miss Luper, I don't have this. You have God on your side. And if you believe your song, you come on and help us. And as we march down the street, if you would like to contribute to getting your name, your brother's, your sister's name on the monument, do it. But if you don't help us, we're going to win it anyhow because I believe in a song that we used to sing. We shall overcome someday, and we shall overcome because God is on our side. Now, once again, we are talking about Clara Luper's Freedom Fiesta dinner, and I would like to thank Sarah Lola Greer, Sarah Freddie Stevens, Sarah Esther Swain, and I could go on down the list, and I would like to thank every one of you that have purchased those tickets. And somebody say people wouldn't do it. Well, we're able to do anything that we want to. Lou Gotti would be there tonight. You know, he was one of the white men that got me out of jail, and don't you forget it. You got to be careful how you treat white folks. And when you talk about white folks, you got to call some names. You got to make sure you are talking about those that helped you. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and this is Clara Luper's Day. And today I'm dressed in black and white because we used to sing blacks and whites together in NACP. I'm so glad we sung so you and your children can go downtown and get a hamburger, can travel this country, can stay in hotels and motels. Talking about that we shouldn't talk about history. We better talk about history. And we need to talk about biblical history, too, because that's all the Bible is. It's a story of Jesus and what he did. If we stopped talking about history, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. 672-1220. You're right. Clara Luper talked about you if you haven't done your part. If you haven't, I would like to thank Mr. Hall. I would like to thank all of you. And I want to hear from David Hall. David always does a lot of talk about what he can do. But we're going to see what David Hall is going to do. David, where are you? Come out of the closet. This is the Clara Luper radio show. Calvin, today is your day, too, because you're part of the sit-in movement.
You're definitely right, Mama. I am a part of the sit-in movement. And but I'm so happy just to be a part of Clara Luper and to be a part of today's show, the Clara Luper radio show. You know, I'm so excited because good things are happening. I know that they're lining up there at the Pitts Park, 20th and K Street, getting ready for the parade. I know that we're getting ready for the dinner tonight where Leon Pons, Beulah Hearns, and Carl Carbon will be honored and recognized for really their dynamic.
They'll hear that tonight,
They hear
Calvin.
all that. Oh, you don't want me to give the prelims.
People saying, why is it you don't have a large crowd like they have on Martin Luther King's Day? On Martin Luther King's Day, everybody marches, but after the march, they go on back where they came from.
Well, you
and I would like to appeal to my white friends.
You mean to say you really think that people march on Martin Luther King's Day and then forget?
You haven't seen them since. They don't come over here and buy no groceries. They
No
don't come
groceries?
over here and eat in black restaurants.
No black
and we got some delicious
Asian restaurants
food over here. Florence's and Stales and all of them. You don't see them anymore. But anyway,
oh, you're talking about those
I'm
other
talking
people.
about, and then there are a lot of black people that don't eat
They
over
pass
here.
by and blow their horn and don't stop.
We'll see after a while. But anyway, the traffic has to stop because my kids are going to parade, and boy, I have a beautiful.
You know, one thing
today.
about it all, Mom. You know, the hatred and the different feelings that we felt throughout the movement. I don't know how you've been able to stand it. You know, and I know that God has been
That's
the
right.
backbone.
That's my backbone.
But,
And you
what
know,
else has been
I
happening
can't
with you?
have a
How else
fun
you get strong
festival,
like that?
Calvin. I can't have a fun festival during the sit-in movement. And the people that haven't been spit on, the people that haven't been kicked, can dance and jab and jive and everything. They can preach that preaching, but they didn't walk that walk.
Well, you know, it takes a lot more than talking.
Oh,
to,
talk is easy. You
talk
can
is very
easily
easy.
sit up and talk
You
about
know, we have to give the Urban
nonviolence.
League. You know, I'm looking forward to them just being
We have it.
participants. So
Mr. Simmons just dropped by and left $50.
okay,
That's I know
We're
it. You know
looking
the
forward.
Simmons have always been with us. Those
Right.
Simmons, and I saw that granddaughter perform other night. Where
So,
are
Mom,
you?
how would you close out the show today?
I would close
here on
out the show by letting
Clara
you
Luper
sing
Day.
on Clara
No,
Luper.
I'm not ready to sing yet because
Calvin.
I've
first
had
place,
new instructions. I had a guy
you
that told
see,
me. Wait a minute.
What
let's
did the
don't
guy
argue.
tell you?
The guy told me that if I do not sing his a birthday celebration song to him that he would be very happy. And his birthday is not until next February. You know,
And he wants you to sing to
he
him
doesn't want me to sing, and
until
he
next February.
he told me
But
whatever you do, Calvin, don't sing me a happy birthday. But I know he's listening. But I'm gonna go over here and warm up my harmonica and put it in the
okay,
microwave
well, put it
and
on,
get it ready.
put it and get ready to do it. Now let me see. We know who our friends are. They are the people that support us. A friend is someone that help you when you're in need. And I want you to do something for me on my day. I want you to help me put the names. And in looking at the names, we couldn't call all of them today, but we have look like 1,033 names that we want to put on that wall. And you say to me, Clara, why are those people so important? Freddie Edwards played a leading role, and we want people to know that. We don't want people just to be talking about Clara Luper, E. Melvin Porter, Cecil Williams, Theodosia Crow. We want them to be talking about all of these people, because without these people, we could not have done it. Now that's common sense. I'm no fool. I know that I am where I am because of you. I know Marilyn is where she is, along with Shelley and all of them, because of you. And I'm not going to turn my back on you. And I'm not going to close my mouth when somebody says something about you. Now, I'm telling you the truth. Calvin, I want
Oh, I'm
everybody
ready.
to know that this is my day. And on my day, I want you to, as we march down the street, I want you to come and put something in that basket, if not but a penny, because I want to have a record that you did something besides talk that talk and talk about Clara Luper.
You
Yes.
know, it's very easy to talk about, but it's very difficult to do. And Mom, you've done it. Appreciate it all. And you know, I've really been
Okay,
practicing on my
Calvin,
singing,
sing.
but here,
Okay, do it.
okay,
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 let's
don't
go.
rush me. Okay, I'm not gonna play the harmonica this morning because I messed it up in the microwave. But here it goes. This goes out to all of you who are having birthdays this week, and I want you to have a happy birthday. But I want you to be a part of this, the Clara Luper Radio Show and the Clara Luper Day. But happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my good friends. Happy birthday to you.
As I look at the clock on the wall, I know it's time for Clara Luper to say goodbye, but I'm really saying hello to all of you because this is our day. Clara Luper represents every one of you, and until next Saturday at the same time, I just want you to know that whatever happens, don't talk about the NACP unless you talk about yourself, because you are the NACP. Clara Luper, bye-bye. I do love you.
This is AM 1220, KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.